Like, no, that's dope.
Exactly.
To me, that is home court advantage.
And I don't want
that should be a thing in every sport, every game.
Like with Kyrie, I love Kyrie. I'm a Nets fan, but like when you turn around to the fans and you're flipping them off, you're showing the fans are getting riled up. You know what I'm saying? As a fan, I'm even more cheesy.
Oh, you got him.
If I'm yelling at you, because that's just what fans do, and you turn around and flip me off, I'm cheesing. I'm now yelling even louder because I'm in your head now.
Welcome to episode 32 of the Harvester Sports Podcast. Stop whatever you're doing, which is watching this video. So actually don't stop it, but like, subscribe,
comment, everything.
Comment, tell us we look cute today. Do whatever you got to do.
I think you're with go watch our Ryan Khalil episode, our last episode, because that's a banger.
The critics are raving about that one. Some people are saying it's our best episode yet.
Some people are saying Tyler only comes on when there's a guest, right? There's a lot of conspiracy theories about Tyler. He didn't come back with a hot chick, which is...
He did not. He was gone for all that long.
I think he came back more single than he was when he left. It somehow got worse.
That was just the vibe he was giving off.
Yeah, that's just the vibe. He's like, I've been playing Minecraft a lot recently.
If you're new around here, I'm Noah.
I'm Austin.
This is Austin.
Aw. We good? All right. My bad. I was just checking with the crew. Man. All right. We got a good show. I want to say good show, like a Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon. That's how we should start. We should walk in and go, hey, start pointing at the crowd.
What music is playing as you're walking in and doing a little dance? But Jimmy has a live band. He has the Roots.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
need Cooper playing the spoons.
Or we need somebody that can do the handbells.
Oh, yeah. Or there's that video of that old dude who's doing the knee slapping. Now the Harvester. My bad, man. So what I want to start off with the show talking about, I said the show again, that's fine. So the NFL draft.
I think it's a show.
I think it's a show, yeah. The NFL draft next Thursday.
Podcast.
So it's
a podcast show. It's new media.
It's a new point. It's cryptocurrency.
It's the future of entertainment.
It's cryptocurrency.
This is the future of entertainment, right?
One day they're going to be watching us in the metaverse, and they're going to be in the stands.
How hard?
It can't be that hard.
Probably not that hard. No. I think we need a special camera, but we could, in theory, put a VR camera right here, and then people can watch with VR goggles and just look around like.
And
this,
they can be sitting here like
exactly.
Like the NBA, right? Where it's like you get the front, you sit in the front, and you're like watching the game.
I didn't know that was a thing.
That might be clean. Can you imagine just like while you're talking, because usually they don't see me when you're talking, I would just stare at them. So if they occasionally look to their left, it's just me staring at them. But okay, so we're talking about the draft. I want to talk about one of the most wild NFL stories I've seen in a long time about the draft. And this happened over 20 years ago, okay? So the Saints in 1999 traded away their entire draft stock to move up to the 5th overall pick to draft Ricky Williams, all right? They sent the Commanders, now that they're called, their 1st round pick, 3rd round pick, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and then the year after that, their 1st and 3rd overall pick to move up 7 spots to draft one man. Is that the most insane?
That's wild.
But Ricky Williams was a great player coming out of college, but I just want to know, do you think we'd ever see anything close to that ever again?
No.
Yeah,
no, I don't.
Right?
No, and the Redskins had no excuse to not go on a crazy
exactly.
go on a crazy run of a few Super Bowls after that.
Like, I was trying to put myself like, what player? How high would you have to be on a player for them to for you to send that trade, to be like, this is a good trade, send it in?
I don't think
there's no one.
I mean, even the best, it's still.
But you never know.
Yeah, you never know what's gonna happen. Even when there's a consensus number one, this is the guy.
Yeah.
You still don't know how he's going to translate. Yeah, there's always going to be a little percent of it. Are you telling me that they sent that trade and there wasn't like a little ounce of, maybe we shouldn't do this?
Well, the funniest part is that they sent their whole draft stock away, and then the football team was still like, also, we need your 1st and 3rd next year. Like that wasn't enough all of this year. Like, also their 1st and 3rd.
I props to them, man.
They got the bag for sure.
Because if they're giving up that much, then I'd be like, hey, why not give up your whole roster too?
If they're already offering that, I'm like, you can sprinkle a little more.
Yeah, I mean, at what point do you say, no, this is too much?
Yeah, I'd start to be like, ah.
Like, at a certain point, you're in too deep.
Those
you can't
phone
be like,
calls
oh, never mind.
Started coming in, like, dude, we really could use a 7th. It's like, oh, man, you're really close.
Do you think on the phone they said, Actually, we also won a first and third, and then they hung up and they were laughing like. They're like, I don't know. We really can't do it unless we get.
He's like, we just want. I mean, everything, and then and they're like, all right. Here it is. I was like, wait, what? What telegram did I just? Hang on, why I say telegram?
Like, what year do you think this is that they were communicating via telegram?
They're like, oh, is this trade offer correct? Oh, it's not enough. Okay, we'll throw in a first and a third. Like, there you go. I think that'll work out. But the so right, they got Ricky Williams, and it's all about like who won the trade, right? Because all this stuff happened. The football team moved up and stuff with some of those picks the next year.
Technically, they were the Redskins, not the football team.
That's true. They were the
now
Redskins.
They're the football team. But you could say Redskins back then.
That's clear. Back then it was all right. And but they got Champ Bailey is how those picks turned out, right? A Hall of Famer, and Ricky Williams, right? It was always a controversial career. People say he gave up on the team, was suspended 4 times for substance abuse. So did it work out in the end? He was a great player, but still stuff like that where he's been suspended 4 times during his career, you never know if it's going to work out, right?
Well, that's what I mean is even somebody. Yeah, I don't. It's tough because you want to have faith in the guys that you're drafting, but also you have to recognize that not everybody is gonna work out perfectly. Yeah, and even the people that do work out, like him, still there's parts where it's like, all right, that wasn't great.
Even like athletes nowadays, where it's like during the draft, like nowadays you're seeing guys getting traded away for like big packages and stuff like that. But like during the draft, there's no way. Like no one looked at Pat Mahomes and be like, we'll give you our whole draft capital to be able to draft this guy, because you just never know. And now he turns out to be one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league right now.
Well, he wasn't even like the top quarterback in that draft class, and
I think the boy Mitch went first.
You wouldn't do that for Mitch, who was seen as the first one.
Yeah, exactly. Like even nowadays of like guys like Kayvon Thibodeau or stuff like that, no one's gonna be like, we need this guy so insanely much, I'm willing to give you everything. Like I'm willing to give you the bag. But it's like this whole thing, like the draft coming up and stuff like that, got me thinking about like more like other stories of like guys coming up through high school, guys coming through college. And I saw this thing on Twitter, right, of this 4-star recruit, Jonte Cook. Okay, like he was visiting around. He has his vlog now, but now like they can get paid now, so they can like film stuff. They can have these vlogs and stuff now. But this recruit is in some hot water because he was filming while he was at Texas A&M, and he was sitting there in the full uniform. As they put you in the full uniform, take pictures and stuff. And he was like, man, they don't have any trophies here. They don't have any football trophies. I'm looking around. I'm not going to lie to you. There's no football trophies here. And if you're Texas A&M, I'm just thinking, if you're like the head of the football department, are you taking that scholarship away after you see that video?
Well, it's not even that, because that was on an official visit, right?
Yeah, an official visit.
A lot of the times, official visits come before offers even.
Yeah.
So had he been offered, do you know?
I saw a couple things that said like that he had been offered or maybe not, but still, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's weird. I hadn't seen that, but I've seen other videos of somebody that was like vlogging one of their official visits and their experiences, going over like the pros and the cons, which is really weird to me because athletes always post like a photo. They have the photo shoot, post a picture of you in their uniform, say like, oh, it was a great meeting the coaching staff and having an official visit with Texas A&M or whatever it is. Yeah. Which I think that's cool and that's awesome. But the vlogging is weird to me, especially if you're just like taking a video of like, oh, this is what their facility looks like, then I guess that's harmless. But when you start to like, you're publicly putting out like your pros and cons of weighing like,
exactly,
like it's on one hand, like you have to get like an in-depth look into like their experience going through this process.
Like it's cool, yeah.
But also like that's way out of line.
I think it's out of pocket
to be publicly saying like, to be like criticizing me like, all right, I didn't love this about this place. I liked this. Like that stuff should just stay between you and the coaches, I think, or you and your family.
Exactly. And then he went to Alabama this last week, and he was looking at, and he posted another one. So he doubled down. He's like, here's the real trophies. And he doubled down on it, which is even more wild. I just like...
Maybe you record all that stuff, and then after you commit somewhere,
then you do it. Like that's the thing where you put in your, I've just like, I'm going to Alabama. You put that in your hype video. You don't put that out before you made the decision. But it is cool, like you were saying, people like fans, like we all love the inside scoop. That's why we all love Hard Knocks. Getting in there and like getting to see the details and stuff. But that's a little too far. That's like going into your process to choose your team.
Well, I think it's disrespectful coming from a high school student.
Exactly.
Especially.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that communicates. It says bad things about your ego.
I think so too.
If you're a high school student that's being recruited somewhere, they're taking the time to give you a tour of the facilities, to potentially offer you money to come play there, and you're like criticizing them.
Exactly, because they are
like taking cheap shots, not being like, oh, I don't know if I love this about the program. Like that's one thing to be like, oh, this, I don't know if this is quite right for me, but when you're just publicly throwing cheap shots out there.
Yeah, even if it was more like it would have been better if he just made it a little more professional, and he was like, this is why I don't like this school, this is why I don't like this school, instead of like laughing and joking, like just dogging on the school the whole time.
I also think, I mean,
but I don't even need to think you need to go into detail. Just we don't need to see that part.
No, well, also, you never know what's going to happen, and I think burning all your bridges is not a good idea before you've actually committed anywhere. But
because who knows, Alabama could not offer you or could pull theirs, and then you have to start leaning back.
Or, I mean, if I'm Alabama, I'm looking at that, like, they disrespected another school. It wasn't me, but I still don't like...
Yeah,
I don't know, that's not something I would want to see from a recruit.
Yeah. I'm like, because then I'd be thinking, it's like, what did he take out of his video about us? Is he in there like dogging us too? Is he even like, dude, these bathrooms suck? Even though I'm still Alabama, there's not a lot to dog, but still, like you said, I'd be a little worried. I'd be like, what does he think about our school? Is he saying these things behind closed doors about us?
He's got like an extra flash drive of every, where he has dirt on every school. He's just waiting to drop. Yeah.
But yeah, so like it's pros and cons with this new stuff. Like, it's cool that we're going to get NCAA football again. That's cool again. They're like, it's cool. Athletes are going to get paid. And also...
The video game.
Yeah, the video game. My bad.
No. NCAA football's been going on for a minute.
But I was saying, like, do you like... I think what I like about it is, like, again, talking about Jonte, like, not, like, trashing the schools. But I do like the more inside scoop it gives us. Like, the more, like... Because now guys, like these guys on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube can really give you like, this is how I trained to go to these schools. This is how I got to these schools. Like, I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I think that it tests. I think that the modern media and emphasis on social media and stuff like that, I think that it tests athletes more than
anything.
Because I think there's some athletes that it's whatever they post every once in a while or whatever, and then there's some where they get so caught up, and I mean I think there's already so many ways to get distracted.
I think so too.
That I think learning a way to navigate that takes maturity, and not everybody has that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Especially the younger you are, but speaking of the role that social media plays with athletes today,
yeah, that was so clean. I love that.
The boy,
that was a clean.
The boy Deebo Samuel first. It's been a couple weeks now.
Yeah, when we first talked about it, it was the social media thing.
He changed his Instagram to, and honestly, at the time, I did not see coming, or maybe I was underestimating.
Yeah, what was going to happen?
What that meant, but I did not think that it was going to lead to what happened today of him requesting a trade.
Yeah, formally requesting a trade. I think that this is a rare case where like you're like, okay, it did work out that way. But I don't think we should, like we said, we shouldn't always take in this guy changed his profile picture. He's going to Detroit. You know what I'm saying? But this was an actual time, like it meant something. Like there was some stuff going on behind closed doors.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see where Deebo ends up.
I'm very interested. Yeah, and the rumors are that like he doesn't want to play running back. That's what some of the rumors are right now. And I think if that's true, that's wild, because that's why you're so highly valued, because of your versatility.
Well, I've heard some people saying the 49ers really use him as a physical player. They really utilize his physicality a lot, and potentially if he's wanting a longer career, then he's like I've heard some people saying that's part of it, is that he potentially wants to take on a role where he's not quite as physically involved, because it's tough to have a long healthy career if you're
running, like especially if you're playing the running back position a lot. Like those guys, get banged up more than like anyone in the league. Like those guys suffer the bigger injuries and the more strain in your hips and your knees and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm worried for Deebo Samuel that I don't want people to misinterpret me as saying that he's like, oh, he's just a situation player or whatever, because I don't think that's true. I mean, what he did last year clearly means that he has incredible talent and could be successful anywhere. But I do think that his style of play is so creative and unique from like an offensive scheme perspective. And Shanahan obviously knew what to do with that, knew how to use him well, because he's one of the best coaches in the league. I'd be concerned about how much you can take Deebo out of San Francisco, put him in another offense, and expect that to just continue
to carry over. Because I think Shanahan and McDaniels, right? McDaniels in Miami now, they made the perfect scheme for him. Like they're geniuses when it comes to offense. I think
they're really good at using their strengths. Whether that's
like they
George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, that they know what they're good at.
Yeah, they took an amazing athlete like the Deebo is, and they gave him the and they took an amazing.
That was a cough button.
It's like they took an amazing athlete that Deebo is, and they put him in a situation that would fit him perfectly. And now, like you said, like I'm just worried that some other team isn't going to be able to do that as efficient as Shanahan did.
I don't know. I mean, I'm like thinking about what teams in the league could use somebody like that, and it's hard to say because he is so unique. Where usually, like, if a receiver that's just a pure speed threat requests a trade, then it's like, oh, what kind of teams need that? What kind of teams need that? But it's different when you have somebody that's so versatile.
Because people are saying,
because he's versatile, but also sort of unique, if that makes sense. Like,
I think so.
Not versatile in the sense where like, oh, you can just throw him in, he can play whatever role you want. Because that's true, but I also think he's best utilized if you like can really work around, like use his versatility to your advantage.
Exactly. It's gonna be tricky because I think there are like a handful of coaches and coordinators in the league that can use him like to his best. I think Shanahan was one of them, right? That can make they built each other up. Like Shanahan and Deebo were the perfect fits for each other. And it's sad that we're seeing that be pulled apart because I don't want to see Deebo I don't want to see Deebo go to some team and fail now because he has like a trash coordinator. Like, and if you're the Niners, how do you feel about this? Are you sending him, like I see people, like Niner fans hate him right now. Niner fans very mad at Deebo and they're like, send him to a hell organization. Like, are you just being like, you're going to, like what people say, the Steelers tried to do Antonio Brown, right? They're like, back when the Bills weren't good, like we're going to send you to New York. Are you just be like, have fun in Houston, Deebo. Have fun with the Jets.
See, I don't know because I also don't. I mean, I from what I understand, Deebo hasn't like he obviously hasn't publicly said like, here are reasons 1, 2, and 3 why I'm requesting a trade. So it's sort of all just conjecture about why he didn't want to be in San Francisco any longer. But I would be very hesitant to jump on board with the narrative that it's about the money and all about the money.
Exactly.
I think whether that's style of play that he wanted to try something different or maybe something to do with quarterback. I don't know, but because the easy thing is like to look at the Christian Kirk deal and be like, and everything else that has happened with receivers this offseason and been like, he wanted money.
And be like, it's easy to blame the Jags, right? Like, did the Jags screw over the whole wide receiver market? Like, did they they're looked at as the ones who started this frenzy of like all these wide receivers need to get paid now.
I think that was inevitable to a certain extent. Giving Christian Kirk the deal that he got based on how much money or based on what he has done so far, I don't think that was inevitable. That was for sure surprising. But I think that the pay raise of the wide receiver position that we're seeing this year and we'll probably see in future years, I think that was... I think that's been coming because it's a passing league. That's just how the NFL is now.
It was going to have to be one wide receiver is going to have to start it off, right? Like there's going to have to be a name that started off the trend of everyone getting paid, and it just so happened to be Christian Kirk.
Well, if you look at, we talk all the time about the great teams and Super Bowl winning teams. You look at where their salaries are very rarely are they like really paying the running back, and like usually it's very pass heavy, and then they've got a solid running back.
So it just made sense. It makes sense. It would have to be one guy that would start that payroll roll on, and then all these other wide receivers are now being like, we would like our fair share now. It's like now you have Terry McLaurin and AJ Brown, who are both like, we're not going to play either until we get a deal done, which is is hard, man.
Chase your bag, Kings.
Right, go get your money, man. Especially like Terry McLaurin is such a young like star too. Like, hey, if Terry McLaurin's like, I want money, and here's all of it. That's
they don't call him Scary Terry for nothing.
Exactly, dude. Like, as soon, I can only imagine what's gonna happen when Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson's times are ready.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson is
especially if he's staying in Minnesota.
He's gonna get all the money in the world, and he deserves it.
Oh yeah. If I'm Minnesota's star wide receiver, I'm like, I'm living in Minnesota, you're about to give me all the money in the world, man. Like, I'm not taking a light deal. We're about to get paid here. But I think it's like 2 more years, and then it's showtime. Guys like CD, it would have been wild, because it would have been like, if that situation happened with Ruggs, I don't know if the Raiders, like, I don't know what would have happened with his contract, but there would have been like 4 big name wide receivers who are ready for money. Jerry Jeudy, CD, Ruggs, all those guys getting ready to get paid at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long their rookie deals all were, but yeah, there's some
names, man. And some teams are gonna have to shove the bag down someone's face, man. Why did I say it like that? Do you have a certain spot you think we're gonna end up seeing Deebo?
No.
Do you think there's a chance at all he's staying? There's no way, right?
I don't know. The Niners fans are probably already in the streets burning jerseys.
Exactly. That was one of the things why I saw why
those Google searches of how to unburn Deebo Samuel jersey.
That was one of the things why I saw why he wanted to leave, is that he was getting like threats from fans just for wanting money. I was like, that's a wild dude. Like, this whole situation's so confusing. Or as fans, we gotta be a little better than that, man. Like, let the dude get his bag. We don't have to hate him.
Yeah, no, you gotta want your players. If they're playing good, hey,
exactly.
Get your Duffy.
Yeah, get your funny up, get your money up, not your funny up. Oh, I said the wrong one.
What
do you know who?
What is it that 50 said? If they hate, and let them hate, and watch the money pile up.
Yeah. My money don't jiggle.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm. Yeah, that's exactly what I was quoting.
We go for sure.
Graduation. Good luck.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Kanye, Kid Cudi, hop on the podcast.
Squash the beef, man.
Squash the beef.
Squash the beef right here, and we'll just end it. Speaking of wanting to keep guys around, right, and pay guys, let's talk about the Oakland A situation and the and the accusations that some fans are throwing around at them.
I saw a little stat today that I wanted to
say. That stat, man. I'm ready.
This is it's not much better today, but this was last night's Oakland A's game, which takes place at the Oakland Coliseum, which seats
thousands and thousands of people.
tens and tens and tens of thousands of people. At least
50.
At least 40, 50, 60,000 people. The official attendance at last night's A's game was 3,748. If you watch it legit, it looks like 2020 when there were no fans. When COVID made it so there were literally no fans in attendance.
They're having a COVID season in real life.
Yeah, but I would love to go to a game like that.
Oh yeah,
because if you could sit in the nosebleeds and heckle, and they would still hear you. That's how empty it is.
Whoever they're playing, they're gonna hear my voice. Like I know this outfielder is hearing me right now.
Yeah, like they can't pretend like.
No, they're not gonna. They can pretend like I'm 3,000 people. We've seen 3,000 people.
You don't have to get a chant going between like hundreds of people in order for them to hear you.
Yeah,
legit, just you and your boy.
If this thing seats 50,000 and there's only 3,000 of us in here, there's potential of me being the only guy within 100 seats of me. Just, you know what I'm saying? The sound is coming from one direction, and you look back and you're going to lock eyes with me. You know what I'm saying? If you hear noise and look, it's not a crowd, it's not a wall of people, it's just me sitting in B6.
Well, that's what Tim Anderson did on the White Sox that he I don't know who they were playing against, but he had enough of the fans just turned around and flipped them off. Pulled a Kyrie Irving. Is that just a thing spreading throughout sports? Is they just players flipping off fans?
Dude, it's so. But like I said, the accusation going around with the A's is that they're raising ticket prices and they're trading away these star guys on purpose to try to leave Oakland. Is that just? Do you think that's just a make believe thing fans have made up, or you think there's some?
I think that I haven't really looked into that enough to know if that's true, but it sounds like a conspiracy theory, and that gives too much credit to the A's organization.
I think
that assumes that they're smart and intelligent enough that they could put together a good roster if they wanted to. They might just not be good at it.
I think what everyone needs to do is go watch the first 30 minutes of Moneyball and see how that organization talks to the GMs and stuff, and then understand what's going on.
Why don't you? One of the best sports films of all time is about your franchise, and you can't figure out how to be relevant and be good.
It's almost
it's disappointing.
I'm almost worried that they're gonna move to Vegas and it's still gonna be the same. You know, like they're gonna be like, well, now there's just more money for me to put in my pocket. Like the organization will be like, more money for us.
Yeah, I mean, they legitimately this offseason spent less money on on anything than the Dodgers spent on probably their ball boy.
Oh,
like literally.
They spent like under a couple $100K, and it's like it showed like their spending, and then it showed the Yankees like a couple $100 million. I'm like, that's clean. That's cool that we're trying to compete. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's very interesting. It almost makes me feel like if there was a cap, it still wouldn't matter to the A's because you're spending $0 still. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, now that there's a limit, you're still
they need to make a cap minimum.
Yeah, but exactly. There needs to be a cap floor.
A cap minimum where you have to spend at least a little bit.
Imagine being an organization that people have to put a minimum so you would spend any money.
I mean, I honestly, I like the A's a lot.
I do too.
I like the A's, but I feel like, I mean, I don't see any way for them to be successful without moving to Vegas and just starting over.
I think you move to Vegas,
I mean, they basically have started over with their players on their team. And they don't have anybody.
But if you want to keep fans, right, we need affordable tickets, and we also need to get these star players and keep them around, right? Every time an A's fan buys a jersey, he's gone the next year. The only way you can do it, everyone just buy Ricky Henderson jersey. That's the only way.
Yeah, I think Murphy's about the only one that's been there for a minute, but
great. Catcher's jersey.
Hang on, what's with the catcher jersey?
My bad, man.
Catcher is one of the most important positions in baseball.
My bad. Come
on, man.
But still,
especially if you're when we're playing the show,
and I put him in every time.
And when we were playing MLB The Show the other day, and it's disrespectful when a pitch is in the dirt. And they run to first to tag you out.
That was the scariest thing I've ever seen in a video game. Was our boy started jogging to first, and the catcher sprinted after him. And
because he struck out on a ball in the dirt, so he runs to first instead of.
That's my favorite part.
Throwing it first, he just ran after it.
It's my favorite part that he swung at a ball that low too. By the way,
MLB The Show is one hard video game.
Oh, it's the hardest game I've ever played in my life.
Don't play it. Take your soul.
It won't make you spend money, but it'll make you be terrified, dude. But also, you just talked about flipping off fans. We're just the king of segues this episode. So, the NBA playoffs are happening. A lot of buzz around Kyrie and the Celtics, right? The Nets just went down 2-0 today. And Kyrie came out, right? But he was flipping off fans. He was chirping back at the fans. And he was like, as athletes, I think it's dumb that there's a double standard. I think we should be able to talk back to the fans. What do you think about that?
I disagree with that. I think that there is a line that fans should not cross. Mm-hmm. But I think that athletes have to expect that fans will cross that line.
Yeah. Because, especially Kyrie and the Celtics, if I'm Kyrie, you got to expect it a little bit. That was such a harsh ending.
Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff where, the fact that Kyrie gets up to to shoot a free throw in Boston and the entire arena is resoundingly chanting Kyrie sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I get that. like if I was a Celtics fan, it is what it is. I mean that I think is I don't think that's out of line at all.
That's part of not a thing at all. Where I'm like, why are they hating on him? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is out of pocket.
Or in like Trae Young going into Madison Square Garden and getting overrated chants, like they're wrong, but also like no, that's dope.
Exactly.
To me, that is home court advantage.
And I don't want
that should be a thing in every sport, every game.
Exactly. And no, I don't want to like rag on players and stuff, but like Trae Young, at least he takes it really well. Like those videos you see on like Instagram stuff, he's clean with it, right? When he's doing the shoulder shrug, it's so clean.
People say he's like owning the villain.
Yes, role. I love
it. He's like wants to be the NBA villain or whatever.
With Kyrie, I love Kyrie. I'm a Nets fan, but like when you turn around to the fans and you're flipping them off, you're showing the fans are getting riled up. You know what I'm saying? As a fan, I'm even more cheesy.
Oh, you got him.
If I'm yelling at you, because that's just what fans do, and you turn around and flip me off, I'm cheesing. I'm now yelling even louder because I'm in your head now.
I mean, I think there's definitely a lot of things that fans shouldn't do. Like when people were dumping stuff on Russell Westbrook, or like dumping food and water on him. Like obviously that's way out of line. But yeah, I mean, if you're chanting at somebody, then as a professional athlete, however many years into your career that Kyrie is, you're gonna get jeered.
Yeah, you're gonna,
especially going into Boston in a playoff series against a team that you did what you did to them. Yeah. I mean, you have to recognize that you did some things that they could be upset about.
You have to recognize it wasn't a peaceful exit. You know what I'm saying? It was like we both hate each other. And then after you leave, like the comments after, he's like, I never wanted to be in Boston. I never want to do that. What do you think's going to happen when you come back to play them in the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? This isn't going to be like, oh, Kyrie's back. You know, they're not putting your name in the rafters.
Yeah. Well, and what do you think about? Because that's always a big deal whenever there's homecomings, especially for the first time. Whenever a player leaves a franchise and comes back, I think it's got to depend on the situation all the time, right? Of like how the fans. Because sometimes it's like, oh, this is like a wholesome moment, like standing ovation. And then sometimes it's like that.
The difference between a Matt Stafford going to play a game in Detroit versus Kyrie going to play a game in Boston, vastly different. Mm-hmm. Right? Matt Stafford's going to get a standing ovation. Kyrie is going to get standing double birds.
Yeah, and I think it's like the Dodgers played the Braves the other day, which meant, for one, Freddie Freeman's first game against the Braves since leaving, but it was in LA and was also Kenley Jansen, who was a closer for the Dodgers for 12 years, his first time back in LA. And before the game, they did he got like a standing ovation. He got like cheers and everything, but because they did a little ceremony for him. But then when he came into the game, the whole stadium's booing him. Yeah. Which I don't know. I think that's
it's so weird.
I think that's weird to me that he was with the Dodgers for 12 years.
Because that should be a more Matthew Stafford, situation. That should be a Kyrie.
He's one of the best closers in the history of the Dodgers, and you're booing him because the Dodgers didn't re-sign him. Like I don't like what was he supposed to retire?
Mob mentality is kind of wild in sports sometimes because. Like, I've been at games where I've had no business. Like, I would just go to NFL games when I was in New York, like just random Jets and Bills game. I had no business knowing the beef. And you guys start booing. Now I'm booing too because I have no clue, but I'm happy to be part of the group.
We're like, oh, we're booing this guy? Oh, okay.
I just hear boo. I go, boo! Yeah, dude.
Yeah, especially baseball is like that a lot where it's so much, like whenever a player is announced, this player is up to bat. Most players aren't getting booed, but there's certain players that are getting booed, and not everybody knows why.
Yeah, so everyone's joining in.
Probably like half the people booing know why, but the other half are just like, yeah.
All it takes is one dude to start booing sometimes, and then it's rad. It's like the wave.
Yeah, especially if the game's not looking good, if you're just a little angry.
And take it from a fan's point of view. That could be the first game I'm going to in a while. Like, I've saved up money to go to this game. I'm going to be a part of the energy now. I'm not going to sit there hands folded. Guys, don't boo Kyrie. Kyrie, you're getting booed, man. I'm a Nets fan. I'll probably boo for no reason.
Yeah, well, going to Cal Poly, D1 sports, but our sports, not the best, and not the best school spirit, but But yeah, whenever I'd go to games, me and all my boys, we'd be heckling, we'd be booing a little bit, just because it's more. That's what you do.
That's the point. The point is like.
I mean, this is a women's volleyball game.
Exactly.
But I'm yelling at these women.
If there was no fans, like that's why the COVID was so boring. It was such a different sport, right? The point is for fans to be in the arena and to cheer and to give that factor. You know what I'm saying? If it was just a sport, you know what I'm saying? Who cares? If it's just dudes playing and no one's there watching, like, all right, you guys are playing in a dead quiet arena.
Have you seen the video of Russell Westbrook during the bubble where he like. I don't know if I think it was a dunk or something, and then he like celebrates and he's like yelling, and then he like turns to the fans and is yelling, and then they pan and the fans are legit. It's everybody's like.
It's a dude on FaceTime.
No, it's their the players' wives and girlfriends holding like their little babies in their lap. Like that's the entire. Like that's the crowd.
People are like, "Why are you booing my mom, dude?" I've even seen news.
It's like, talk nice to me, all right, man.
Have you ever seen the story? I can't remember what player it was, but some player's mom was screaming at the fans, like she was invited to the bowl and she was yelling at the fans. It's just wild. It's like in any sport you're gonna get heckled, dude. You know what I'm saying? And like even in golf, they get loud sometimes. It doesn't matter. It's just an arena, man. People are gonna get loud, and they're all having fun. Some of the times they're probably wasted, right? it's just all in fun. It just usually the difference is how the different players take it. You know what I'm saying? Every player has like a limit how much they can take. That like you know what I'm saying? It's like some fans or some players are gonna be like Trey, some players are gonna be like Kyrie, where it like affects him a little more.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's whatever. A player's entitled to be upset the fans are booing him. Obviously I wouldn't want an entire arena full of people to be chanting Noah sucks. That's not ideal, and I wouldn't really like it. But also I think it's par for the course, honestly. Like I'm not surprised that's what's happening to Kyrie.
I think there's a big gap between what's right and not right for fans. It's like saying Kyrie sucks, and then it's a lot of gap, and then it's Rumble in the Jungle or Malice in the Palace. You know what I'm saying? There's a big gap. That I mean, maybe Kyrie, if that's what we're gonna do, just go jump in the stands and start swinging.
Or like, did you see when Devin Booker was shooting free throws and there was a dinosaur and he was getting distracted by it? He was getting distracted by the dinosaur, and he asked them, and they like had him removed because it was getting to him too much to have the dinosaur right there. So he like asked the referees or whatever, and he got removed.
That would be distracting to me too. If I'm about to go join a free throw, I just see Jurassic Park. That's why, like, some stadiums, like some leagues have banned what you can put on the boards, like in NFL games, like what you can put on the boards behind the goalpost for kicks. Like I know the Ravens do the eagle, and that's kind of, or the Raven.
And there's
why would the Eagles do a Raven, or why would the Eagles do why would the Ravens do an eagle? That was my bad. Raven eagle. It's
like how Max Crosby's the condor and he uses an eagle emoji every time. Well,
Apple,
there's like regulations on like when you can and can't play music and stuff. But,
Apple, just give him emoji, bro. Please, you know how much he would drive up the use of a condor emoji? Like, it would be
yeah, what other use is there for a condor emoji besides Max Crosby? Like, that just has to become his emoji.
It's either you're talking about Max Crosby or you live in Bakersfield. You're talking
like... there are some obscure emojis now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, whenever every time there's an update, they'll add, like, 10 new emojis, and I look at them, and I'm like, now, why did you add, like, literally any... Yeah. There was no need for any of them.
Why did you add a zombie? My bad. You use that one?
No, I use... have you seen the new troll one?
Oh, yeah.
This one right here. This is my new favorite emoji.
This is mine. Can you just put the eggplant?
Also, while we're talking about Devin Booker is hurt, and he's supposed to miss the next 2 games. It's interesting how the Suns fans, when Anthony Davis was hurt going against the Suns, it was like, oh, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if he was healthy. It doesn't make a difference. But now all of a sudden, having a player out that's a good player makes a difference.
Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting how there's a bias sometimes? Isn't that interesting that there's double standards in sports? I saw something the other day that said, do you think... Babe Ruth's heart would explode if he went up to the plate and DeGrom threw him a 96 slider. Or do you...
I think Babe Ruth...
You think he takes him to your heart?
I think Babe Ruth is still a good ball player in today's game.
You think so?
I think so.
I mean,
I think
they would have more regulations on the drugs he was probably taking. Because I know he was like, there's stories of him doing coke and then coming to hit the bat.
Well, he wasn't doing performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah, he was just doing.
Well, or maybe they were not what they're not typically recognized as performance enhancing drugs. Maybe him personally, they were enhancing his performance.
I saw one that was like he like snorted a line and then he had 3 hot dogs and then would go up to bat. I was like, you're clean.
I don't know how fast pitches were coming back then, but I think they were still coming fast. And I think he's still a good player today. Obviously not as good, but
yeah. What do you think the average pitch speed was back then?
I don't think they had radar guns, so I don't. So this Google search this Google search is about to say you idiot. How would they know?
You know what it was? It was that was slow. That was kind of fast. That was fast. He threw you a fastball, and there's like, huh? That ball curved. Let's call it a curveball.
Off-speed pitches were probably the same then, is it?
Yeah.
150 miles per hour.
Excuse me.
What's this? I mean, yeah, this legit just says, this is ESPN. It says 150 miles per hour. Okay, no, we won't. Okay, I see. I see what they're getting at.
Man, John Smith walking up to bat or pitch.
This is a long article that doesn't answer the question, but it does say that pitchers cannot pitch 150 miles an hour.
I'm glad that they had to come out and say that because it was really, I really thought for a while they could throw 150.
How fast were pitchers in Babe Ruth's era? The best pitcher velocity in Ruth's day topped out at about 90 miles per hour.
Okay.
While relievers you've never heard of now flirt with, they're being disrespectful. Okay. But that's 90 miles per hour.
That's
fast.
That's still fast, yeah.
I mean,
for some reason I thought they were going to hit me with like 7.
I mean, that 10 miles per hour, you get to a certain point where every mile per hour is a big difference. Like the difference between 90 and 91, like it's recognizable.
If like even in MLB The Show, if I'm standing there and a pitch goes by and I see that thing says 101, I'm like, well, not hitting this. Like I can't even think before I hit that. You think that's the hardest thing to do in sports? Hit a fastball?
It depends.
I've seen like hit a Major League Baseball, and I've seen be the goalkeeper on a penalty kick. Some of the hardest things in sports.
Oh, like in a shootout?
Yeah.
Because the assumption is that more often than not, they're going to score on you.
Yeah.
But also, if you're in the MLB, the assumption is that a decent amount of the time you're going to hit the ball. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. I mean, I couldn't do either. So
we have like the whole thing.
I honestly think that if I went up to bat in the major leagues and they threw 3 strikes down the middle and I was bunting every single time, I don't think I could make contact.
No, I don't think so either. I think
I think a bunt.
I think I would go for the bunt and it would hit my hand and my hand would shatter.
I might be able to make ugly contact.
Yeah.
Like as in it did touch the bat.
But if you did make contact, is it fly out? Or do you think that...
No, I'm not getting it up. No, it's a foul for sure.
It's good.
It's grazing the bat as it's going flying and hitting the umpire in the forehead.
Like the whole thing that everyone's talking about, like me versus Aaron Donald, we have a friend that has one that's a little more relaxed, right? He thinks he could go and pitch once and throw a strike, because he says he would throw it so slow that they wouldn't be ready for it.
Have you seen Rookie of the Year?
Is that what happens?
Oh, that's one of the best movies of all time.
Do I need to go see Rookie of the Year? My dad's gonna kill me now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not gonna say what happens.
Just tell me what you.
Because that's like the very end of it. But no, if you throw it so slow that it confuses them, no, that's not gonna happen.
His thing was like, if I go up there, like. His whole thing was like if he's dressed in the full outfit, right?
Who is this?
Jonah.
Jonah's he's not getting it in the strike zone, no matter how.
That's what he was saying. He's like, if he goes up there and he throws it, they would be so ready for like a normal fastball that they would swing way early and that thing would go right in.
No.
Yeah, I tried to tell him.
They wouldn't be like, oh, this is going to be a fastball and then swing before. They would watch the pitch. They know the pitch. They're watching the pitch.
Exactly. And he was saying that he could get him once, but then every other time it's going to be wraps. Because now they're going to take him yard because they know how fast it is. But really what's going to happen is they're going to see the thing coming and they're going to go, this is gone. They see.
I think.
What speed do you think Jonah's hitting?
I think the pitch is going to be the pitch is like at least a yard at least a yard wide. Like it's out of the strike zone, and the batter still steps out of the strike zone, steps into it, and launches it.
Do you think he makes it to the plate? Do you think Jonah?
No. What do you mean? Distance? He can throw it to the plate.
Okay.
It's not a clean strike, but distance wise, yes, absolutely.
We need to see Jonah throw a first pitch now.
Have you seen Conor McGregor's first pitch?
This is bad.
But he's not American, so it's all right.
The best first pitch of all time is probably George Bush.
His was on the money.
Yeah.
There's
some right after 9/11 too.
There was some rapper that did a horrible first pitch.
Was it 50 Cent?
I think 50.
And his went that way?
50-50.
Or 50, man.
50-50. That's how they should eliminate. That's how you eliminate any sort of home field advantage, and it becomes actually a home field disadvantage. Is it's an actual first pitch, and the other team can swing on it.
I still like the idea. People say put a normal person in the Olympics just so we all can see what it's about. Like you just go. If you go to the Olympic Games, you know you might get chosen to run an event.
Yeah, but there's somewhere that you like physically couldn't. Like if they said like
javelin.
If they said do the cross country skiing.
Oh yeah. No.
Like it doesn't matter how much time you give me. I'm not.
Yeah, it would have to be sprinting. I think it would have to be a run.
That'd be good. Or no, I would say the like super high dives where they're like 100 yards into the air.
You might see someone
Probably.
just gone, dude. We have to fish him out. Or what if it was in like wrestling or like boxing too? Like we're gonna put one normal guy in there, just so y'all can see what's going on. How terrified would you be? You're like, if you go to the Olympics, there is a chance that you have to sign a waiver that you might get put in a sport, and somehow you go watch boxing, and they're like, and you randomly get chosen, and you have to go in there.
I could eat that. In Olympic boxing, I think they wear the head protection. Mm-hmm. So at least I'm not getting cauliflower ear.
I think that it would work me so fast.
I'm getting broken nose and everything.
I just think it'd be like the thing with like Aaron Dahl and everything. They would think it's so disrespectful to even see me, like step foot in their arena. That it would be raps. Listen, guys, I'm gonna be real. I don't know a lot about racing. I'm trying to get more into it, but all I know is that there's gonna be a Formula One race in Vegas, and it goes right down Main Street. I think that's the coolest thing ever.
My brother is a Formula One
fanatic.
Yes, that's good alliteration.
I got you, man.
And he was telling me about it.
The whole thing is, like, I saw some. I don't know why I know this, but some fans are mad. They're like, "Why is the United States getting another race instead of like other countries?" And like, well, you have to see how big the United States is, right? So a race, right, on the East Coast is going to be vastly different to the West Coast, right? Very different locations. But it's so big. I just think it's one of the coolest places to race. Like that's one of the coolest places to race. It feels like right down Main Street.
Yeah, I think it's cool that they can actually like block off. I mean,
that's
like
what I was also
off
thinking.
Streets to.
Yeah, like I was thinking like.
Were you wondering if they were gonna block it off?
No, I was thinking like
oh, maybe we're gonna just let people, just somebody in a Prius on their way to work and just
that's what boom. I'm thinking. What if you come by a stoplight? Like, dude, pod racing.
Now this is pod racing.
After you flew by on your Formula One car and made a Prius flip, would you go? And that's like called pod racing. I did.
No, I'd hit all the lines from Iron Man 2.
Oh, that's good.
Where
you crash.
He's racing with Whiplash.
You crash, you get out, and you start at the guy.
That's Formula One, right?
Yeah. Why they let Tony Stark do it? Never know. But just a rich man doing it, man.
I think it's his thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's his event.
Who's your Formula One? No, his like his car. Who's your favorite? Your favorite team?
Oh, probably. I think he put something.
I'm a Red Bull man myself. I decided. I don't. Yep.
Red Bull makes a lot of money, man. Their ad campaigns are insane. Like their promotion stuff, they're the best at it.
They have you ever watch Red Bull TV?
Don't tell me they have a whole TV.
It's like it's like an app, but I watch it sometimes. It's pretty
sick, right?
Because it's different action sports of like snowboarding, surfing, BMX.
I've seen their like
different things like that.
They're I forgot what it's called. There's something kart racing. I've seen that where you make like the cardboard car. No, those are so funny, bro. Those are so good, dude. People just flying down the hill, just wrecking. I forgot what's called. Oh, boxcar? Is it boxcar racing?
It's something like that for sure.
If you want to laugh, also go watch. It's like the cheese race or something, and they roll a piece of cheese down a dirt hill, and dude just blow the ACLs out full speed down the hill.
Yeah, people are legit dying rolling down the hill in like somewhere in like Europe.
Oh yeah, it's in like Sweden, and just dudes go. What? So you ever see stuff like that, or like see sporting events? You know, human body wasn't meant to do this motion.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of the podcast.
Thank you, everybody.
Like, comment, smash that like button.
Smash that like button.
Smash your like button.
Smash that like button.
Great content coming. Tell all your friends about it.
Go watch the Ryan Cooley podcast. It's a great one. He gives inside scoop on Cam Newton, everything. Reggie Bush. He tells you what he thinks about the whole scandal. Should he get his trophy back? Go find out, guys.
And some dude named David Carr is on there too.
Some dude named DCA. And Tyler's on it, if you care about that. He just was off the side just laughing.
Ty.
Yep. TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere, guys.